Hey, good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Saturday morning and very lively here on the beaches. You see that guy right there? He's fly fishing in the surf. That's pretty cool. There are dolphin in the surf feeding. There are birds hitting the water, and it's absolutely beautiful flat comp. And we've got a lot on the MB this morning. Oh my goodness. Bluefin, tuna, yellowtail, white sea bass, halibut, and so much more. You know what time it is, everybody. It is that time. We're getting ready for the MB. Come along for the ride.
Good evening, everybody. This is Philip with Friedman Adventures with a late night bluefin tuna update. The last 24 hours have been very slow fishing last night and slow all day long today. But the spotter plane found a significant amount of bluefin tuna much closer to home, about 80 miles from Point Loma in San Diego. Presently, there are 14 boats sitting on that body of fish, and fingers crossed that it's going to bite. They are all hoping for a bite. I talked to the Highliner. They have 1 bluefin tuna and 4 yellowtail. Most boats have 0 to 4 bluefin tuna right now. So they are all hoping for a night bite. Fish closer to home. The spotter plane found them. It's looking better, but we need these things to settle in and bite like they were 48 hours ago when it was wide open. We are watching it 24/7 for you. We'll have breaking news if they turn on and start to bite. For now, a significant amount of fish closer to home. Check out this incredible catch that was made at Santa Ana River Lakes this morning. It took 2 anglers to lift this mighty catfish. Just look at the girth of this monster. Once again, they had to get it up on the scale, but this was a 2-man job. They picked up the mighty beast and plunked it on the scale, and it weighed a massive 72.6 pounds. Really an incredible catch this morning at Santa Ana River Lakes. This battle lasted for quite some time. It took the angler a long time to wrestle this baby up onto the shore, and for sure, it's a catch that neither one of these 2 gentlemen will ever forget. A 72.6-pound catfish taken at Santa Ana River Lakes today. Congratulations.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. Just look at that calm and beautiful ocean. I don't know if you're going to see it or not, but there are dolphin feeding in here on the surf. There are birds hitting the water, fly fishermen working the Southern California surf by the wind sailors, littering the beach. It's really great stuff here this morning. There's no wind at all. It is beautiful, and I don't want to say it's warm, but it's moderate. It's very, very nice here on the beach. Boy, we've got so much to cover with you. We'll get into the nighttime bite on the bluefin tuna. Those bluefin made a big move. They've started to move closer towards San Diego and Ensenada, Baja California. We'll have updates on what the fleet did last night, what they're doing right now this morning. Also, we're watching some awfully big yellowtail, some good white sea bass, some halibut, an excellent rockfish, and yes, there is wind in the forecast. We'll cover that with you also. We'll also talk about the Southern California coast as things really are starting to heat up. It's looking better and better all the time. You know what time it is. Did I just see a boil there? It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, it is beautiful down here today. Makes me want to be throwing an iron right now as the tide is starting to come up, and I'm watching and keeping a close eye on that fly fisherman to see if he pulls a fish out of the surf. If you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it. When you're able to do that, share these videos with a friend. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. And of course, tick the bell and you'll be notified when there is new content, breaking fishing news, and so much more right here. Folks, we've got a lot to cover with you, so let's get into it with you. Let me first of all let you know that Thursday, I think we have 2 spots available on our El Patron trip. The weather forecast is gorgeous. It doesn't look like we're going to have any wind at all. We're going to Catalina Island, and we're going to fish 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. this Thursday out of Long Beach Sport Fishing. 2 spots left. Hope you can make it. It's going to be a lot of fun. To get on that trip, you don't call the landing. You send me a text, 657 227 6459. For this coming Thursday, Catalina Island will be fishing a combination of surface fishing. There's been some yellows over there. There's been some 64-degree water. There's been a little bit of calico bass. Nothing wide open on the surface yet, but we'll focus on that and back it up with some excellent rock fishing for all of you. That's this Thursday. We hope we see you on that trip. All right, let's go to Ensenada as those bluefin are moving closer and closer, and the pongueros are starting to get a piece of it. In fact, our very own Paulina. Paulina, of course, is my co-host when I go to Mexico, and she does such a great job. But more than anything, I mean, she's really a good co-host, but she really loves to fish. And her and our dear friend Foca and her aunt Norma are all out pushing offshore. I just talked to her a moment ago, De Los Cruzados. We got our fingers crossed that she is going to make a catch. And of course, if she does, we'll have the story right here for you all. But that bluefin is much closer to Ensenada, which I'll get into when we start talking the San Diego scene. Down in the bay of Ensenada, we have been seeing some really good yellowtail action at times. It's very inconsistent, and especially when you get to the weekend, you get too much bow pressure running around Punta Banda, running around Todos Santos Island, and it just seems to shove the yellows down. Undoubtedly, somebody will catch a yellow or two today. Whether there'll be any big scores, I don't know. Yesterday, Blackfin Sport Fishing, our dear friends Victor and Nacho and all the people that make Blackfin at Punta Banda so very special were out, and they had a mix of big bonita, quite a bit of that, some nice calico bass and rockfish to go along with it. But the yellows evaded them, so we'll keep our eyes on them. Most of the time, those yellows are biting on the fierro, on the iron. So you're throwing a surface iron or a yo-yo iron at other times, and you're running and gunning. So you're running up on those fish, shutting down, and then they're going to tell you to make a cast, and you get on those fish, take a couple winds, and you hope that you hook a nice big yellowtail. Even if you hook one of those 5 to 8 pound bonito, that's a lot of fun also. And I'm telling you, still some of you don't believe this, but it's true. You take good care of those bonita, you bleed them and ice them. Man, they make some really good sashimi. And they're also very good pan fried in some olive oil with some garlic. All right, I'll stop. I'm getting hungry here. So again, Ensenada, mostly that bonita. Bluefin much closer. Paulina's headed out. We'll see how that all works out here as we go along. All right, let's talk San Diego. Bluefin tuna. Those guys had been fishing down around Punta Colinet, 120 miles. Last night they moved to 80 miles based on what the spotter plane saw. And he saw copious amounts of bluefin tuna much closer. It seems like that BFT is on the move, and you know that makes things difficult. It keeps moving around, but we had 14 boats on it last night. There was a whole fleet of guys that got on that fish, and early reports are not bad. It was not wide open for most of the boats, but it was better than it has been. No question about it. The Highliner, and this is, you know, I haven't talked to them for several hours, so we'll see. 15 bluefin tuna the last time we checked with them. The Independence, 40 bluefin tuna, 40 to 60 pounders. That is one heck of a nice night bite. And the Indies on them again. That is great news. Really good fishing. I talked to Captain Brian Pfeiffer. He said pretty brisk action. You know, nothing wide open, but kept it going all night long. And that is a nice grade of fish and some really excellent fishing on board the Independence last night. So I am happy to hear that. Several other boats I want to say are in the anywhere from the 5 to 50 range on the bluefin tuna in that zone. The daytime bite has been very finicky overall. So you're going to have to drop down to 25 to 30 pound fluorocarbon on most of those trips and a small hook. Trocar hooks from Eagle Claw are your best bet. They'll hold up under all kinds of pressure, trocar, but you're going to have to drop that down to get a bite, and that results in a lot of losses because, I mean, you hook a 60 pounder and 25 pound, you got your hands full. So daytime bite is very finicky. We'll see if that changes today. We'll be watching that very, very closely. At night, some of the nights it's been, you know, 120 to 180, 180 to 220 gram jigs that have been working very, very well. And then other nights it's 400 gram jigs. Definitely want to have that variety. You need to know how deep you're dropping your jig, because the captain is going to tell you exactly where the fish are. He tells you 300 feet. That's what you want to drop to, okay? Or a little bit further than that. He'll tell you. He'll say, I see the fish at 300, drop to 320, and then wind up through. And that is so important. So you need that meter line that changes color every 100 feet so you know exactly where your jig is. 200-pound leader material, essential. You want to have heavy, heavy, heavy leader material. So once again, much better signal, fish moving closer up the line. We'll have more updates throughout the day for you and keep you in touch with all the very latest as we go along. I'll talk weather in a moment. That area is going to get some wind. We'll talk about that as we get a little bit deeper into today's report. Don't forget, it's tax season. If you need help with your taxes, Tim Marquez, A-Best Income Tax. Give Tim a call today. And if you need help with your heating and or air conditioning, John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning at your service. So once again, that bluefin tuna is on the move. We'll watch it very closely. There's been a handful of kelp patty yellows, mostly real small stuff. 5 to 8 pound stuff, some of it smaller than that. And then occasionally you'll get a little bit bigger one, but no real big numbers on the Forkies down there in that neck of the woods. All right, let's move you across the border here into the Southern California area in general. And we'll talk islands first of all. So we'll start with the Coronado Islands down there in San Diego, where there's been some pretty good hits on the yellowtail occasionally. I want to call it from 0 yellows to 20 yellows on most trips down there out of San Diego. Yesterday, Marcus Fain with that giant 35-pound yellowtail on a surface iron. That is exciting stuff. Caught on board the San Diego out of C4 Sport Fishing in San Diego. They're focusing their attention on the Coronado Islands. And once again, they can back it up with some very good rock fishing, lings and reds and all kinds of really great eating and colorful rockfish. So you do have that in case the yellows don't bite, or even if they do bite, you can still pad your catch with some great eating rockfish. A little bit of barracuda starting to show up down there also at the islands. We see it down there at Todos Santos off of Ensenada. So springtime is trying to come together here. It just keeps getting better and better and better. And then, of course, we're going to get some wind. We may take a step backwards temporarily, but the ocean has been very resilient this year. So you get the wind and then it's back on the bite again. So we'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. El Patron, yeah, we're going to be on there this Thursday. You can join us. But they also are starting their overnight trips. And they're starting it the night we get in. And it's an absolute go. With only 5 anglers signed up so far, it's going to be a dream trip. That is May the 9th, leaving from Long Beach Sport Fishing at 10 p.m. for their overnight trip. And then they're running the next night and the next night. Call Long Beach Sport Fishing or go to the website, www.longbeachsportfishing.org, to get on that great trip. All right, so continuing with the islands, we come up here to San Clemente Island. The Amigo is there this morning, and they have been looking at a lot of yellowtail. Those yellows are around. We don't have a catch count from them yet, but it's early. They're just getting started on that. The Fury yesterday saw all kinds of yellowtail out of Dana Orr Sport Fishing at San Clemente Island, would led them to say, you know, it's only a matter of time until this thing really gets going. The Pride fishing the islands here recently with 14 halibut on their last trip and a white sea bass, and then a little mix of calico bass and sheephead and whitefish, rockfish, that kind of a thing. The Gale Force was at Catalina Island. They had 20 legal calico bass yesterday and saw evidence that that was trying to come around. The Freelance here recently out of Davies Locker at Catalina Island, they've also had a pop or two on the yellowtail. No big numbers, but a few yellows, seen them around, and it just seems like we keep creeping closer and closer. And the pursuit with some halibut yesterday, along with some rockfish out of 22nd Street Landing at Catalina Island. That's looking pretty darn good. Up there in the Channel Islands, continued marvelous rock fishing going on up there. I just talked to Daniel Hadaway on board the Island Spirit out of Ventura. He's headed out right now for his morning half-day trip, extended half-day, 8 a.m. till 4 p.m., sometimes 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Daniel will go down and say, hey, you guys okay with staying a little bit late? Because if you are, we're going to go. And don't forget, kids fish free on the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. All month long, by the way, Ventura has a very great and special deal on both the Californian and the Island Spirit. The Californian's the old Matt Walsh. They run full day, leaving in the morning, fishing out there until the evening, and you buy a full fare, and the next guy goes for half price all the month of May. Take advantage of it. Weekends also, every single day. You can take advantage of it. Up there in Santa Barbara Sea Landing, the Coral Sea with 5 halibut, 8 white sea bass. And I like the 64 barracuda, man. I mean, some gar up there. I don't know what it is, but a lot of times the Channel Islands will get their gar before we will. Barracuda, that is, biting the iron really, really well. It's best showing of the barracuda we've had. I know sea bass and halibut, probably more important, but I like that barracuda moving in. It's just a sure sign that springtime is starting to happen, and there's nothing like throwing an iron and catching a big barracuda on the iron. It is so much fun to do. So nice signal up there on the Coral Sea. We love seeing that. You know, you have in your head that the barracuda are going to start down south and then they're going to work their way up and then end up in the Channel Islands. But more years than not, it's up there and then it bleeds down here. And man, look at that ocean. Wouldn't surprise me if somebody caught a barracuda or two. Come on, Walt, on the Monte Carlo today, or one of you guys catch some gar. I'd love to see that happen here today. So your islands, that's pretty much what's going on with regard to that. That's not bad at all. Looking at the rockfish situation, it's been marvelous. I'm not going to start naming off scores because they're all good. On a day like this, you're going to see some really good scores from Ensenada all the way up to the Channel Islands. And I mean, anybody who's fishing it should be able to get in on it. Remember, the captains are not limited by depth anymore. They can fish as deep as they want. So I would have some 8-ounce torpedo sinkers and I would have some 16-ounce or better along with me. And that goes for our El Patron trip. Make sure you're bringing some heavier sinkers in case we make some drops in the deep water, but be prepared for the surface fish on that trip. We're going to focus on yellows and calico bass. And again, that goes for all of you who are fishing these local zones right now. This rockfish bite has been really, really good. Hey, the G4 fluorocarbon is out there right now. That is Promar putting out this great product. And I'll tell you right now, if you put in FA at checkout when you go to promarahi.com, and use the FA, Friedman Adventures checkout, you'll get 10% off everything. But you can pick up G4 at your local tackle store right now. Baja Fishing Tackle in Lomita, Best Fishing Tackle in Hawthorne, Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway, Shark Bait in Huntington Beach, and Sam de la Torre at Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California. Those guys all have it. More stores are starting to add it. If you don't see it, ask for it the next time you are in there. All right, let's take a look at the Southern California surf. And baby, that is just begging for someone to be throwing a lucky craft or a little chrome crocodile or some kind of other jig. It is absolutely beautiful. And I don't know what you've been seeing while I've been talking here, blah, blah, blind. But when I first walked down here, little white birds were picking in here. There's pelicans up here hitting the water. We've also seen the dolphin feeding in the surf. It's very lively. There's obviously some bait in here, so this is a good time to be fishing halibut. I see quite a few surf fishermen down this way. Quite a few, like 6 guys. That's a lot for here in Surfside. So throwing a lucky craft type lure is a very good way to get a bite on a halibut. Big Fish Bait and Tackle down there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard is putting on their great derby again this month. Biggest halibut wins a brand new, beautiful custom fishing rod, and it's free to enter. All you need is a ruler from Big Fish Bait and Tackle. You put it in the sand. You put your big halibut down there. You inscribe the date in the sand, take a photo, upload it to the Big Fish Bait and Tackle Instagram page, and you could be the next lucky winner. Every single month, a new custom fishing, surf fishing rod, they're giving it away, and it's free to be in the contest, so you don't want to mix that up. Some really good fishing going on in the SoCal surf here. We've seen some good Corvina. We've seen barred perch still biting. It has been good. Kayla Lou with some really good fishing down south of here a little ways. She was throwing a lucky crab lure and doing fantastic. And she says she's got her eyes focused on that big halibut. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't bet against her. I got to get out and do some fishing with her very, very soon. Good morning to you. Hope to see you really, really soon. All right, we'll keep our eyes on all of this and so much more. It really is looking pretty darn interesting if you ask me. That barracuda up there in the Channel Islands, I like that. We may get another sea bass score. And I haven't forgotten about the weather. Sunday is going to be a very breezy day. You look at the bluefin tuna zone where it is right now, could move for that matter, but it'll be breezy. Boats like the Independence are not going to have any trouble fishing that. She's a big, sturdy vessel, so no problem for them. And some of the other guys are not going to have any trouble either. But it's going to be breezy and bumpy on the tuna zone. And then as we look at the coastal regions, there's going to be some breeze there also. We'll have to see how that plays out. Most 1/2 and 3/4 day boats probably can get the day and going to be breezy up in the Channel Islands also. We'll see how that all plays out. But we do have wind in the forecast here for Sunday. We'll watch that for you very, very closely. So some really good signals. We'll be watching the bluefin tuna thing all day long for you. We'll watch this Southern California surf. We'll keep our eyes on this local area to see if there's any barracuda that want to move in. And of course, I hope to see you all really, really soon. See you Thursday on the El Patron. Hope you can join us on that one. That's going to be a great trip. Don't forget to pick up the G4 in your local tackle store. Take care. I'll see you soon.
This May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, get ready for an adventure-packed weekend at the West Coast Outdoors Sport Fishing Expo. Taking place at the Ventura Fairgrounds, it's everything outdoors under the sun. Discover the latest in boats, explore thrilling charters, and dive into the world of RVs. Whether you're an avid angler or just love the great outdoors, there's something for everyone. For more information, visit sportfishingexpo.com.